Hi, it's Scott Vogel on Sex Addiction. I'm going to share with you Step 9 from the 12 Steps Fellowship in Recovery from Sex Addiction. Step 9 says, make direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. We make direct amends usually in person. Sometimes somebody may have passed on, or it's just not physically possible to make an amend to a person. In those cases, we may write letters and share them with our sponsor or another fellow. Now, if there's an amend that involves someone we had harmed that could injure them, we don't make that amend to that person directly. So if we had an affair with someone and by making that amend would injure their relationship or their marriage, if we did something to hurt somebody and by making the amend would harm them, we don't make it. This step is all about accepting our part of our wrongs and correcting those wrongs that we had listed in Step 8. And we do this with guidance, and we have to be honest and accept any reaction from the person we're making amends to. The principles behind Step 9 are justice, discipline, evening of the scales. Justice is what is morally and societally correct. Discipline is training that corrects. It's not punishment. It molds or perfects us. Evening of the scales is about making up for what we did. We need to accept what we did. We need to make corrections in our behavior so it doesn't happen again. We have to become totally honest with those people we had harmed, and we have to be humble by asking for help in taking this step. When we work Step 9, we ask for help from our sponsor, from a therapist, from clergy, by reviewing who we're going to make amends to before we do it. And as a reminder, do not, and I repeat, do not make any amends without first checking with your sponsor to make sure that you're making the amend properly, it's the right time, you do it in the right place, and you're doing it for the right reason, and that you're supported for the outcome of that amend. Because you have to accept whatever it is that the person you're making amends to comes back with. You have to take responsibility for what you did, and you have to make sure that you implement self-care. So when you're working it, you're cleaning your side of the street, that's it. Again, you accept what the other person says or does. You're just responsible for your part. You're not responsible for how they react. The Step 9 prayer says, God, give me the strength and direction to do the right thing no matter what the consequences may be. Help me to consider others and not harm them in any way. Help me to consult with others before I take any action that may cause me to be sorry. Help me to not repeat such behavior. Show me the way of patience, kindness, tolerance, and love, and help me to live the spiritual life. We need strength and guidance during this step. We ask for help with that. We're reminded here of what we did and who we harmed, and sometimes it's difficult, and the responses that we get are less than kind. After all, we weren't kind, so we really can't expect when we make an amends that it's always going to go well. We also ask in this prayer that we not repeat any of our former behaviors, and that we learn to live a new life with our positive character virtues, and that we live a more spiritual life with kindness and patience and tolerance and love. Visit our YouTube channel on sex addiction for more videos on sex addiction and recovery from sex addiction. Go to our blog at www.onsexaddiction.com. There you can get a free video explaining sex addiction, the 7 symptoms of sex addiction, the traumas of sex addiction, the 4 faulty core beliefs set up by the traumas of sex addiction, and the solution, the 7 paths of success in recovery from sex addiction. You'll also find articles and more information about sex addiction and sex addiction recovery.